Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to set up Azure to be able to host this site. So I've already got an Azure account. So I'm going to go to the windows.azure portal. And for the sake of, if I have failures, I got a couple of things running, but I'm going to try not to use them if I don't need to. So I connect to the Azure portal. Now I want to create a storage account, someplace for the table and the blob to exist. So I go to my storage. I'm going to add a new account. I'm just going to use the quick create. I'm going to call this ALM Azure UG for user group. Got the green check, so I know that the name's okay. I'm going to put this in the north central US, just closest to me. Enabling geo-replication is done by default. Create my storage account. I'm going to trust that that's going to be okay. And I need to do the same thing now to host my website. Okay, so I'm going to go in here for my website. I'm going to add new again. Again, I'm going to just do my quick create. And I'm going to do my ALM. And the name is only coincidentally the same if I even remember what it is. It's the ALM Azure UG website. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same. I see that's also free. And I'm going to set that in the Western US region. Create my website. Just go back and looks like that's up and ready. And then let's look at storage and see if it's still in a creating. So I'm going to give it just one more minute here. I've ran through this presentation a couple of times, and yesterday's the only time that I had any issue where this took several minutes to create. So if it doesn't come up in a few seconds, I'm going to just go ahead and use the TJS Azure UG storage account for this. I'll peek at that in a few minutes. Now, let's go back to our website, and let's open up the ALM Azure UG website. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to download the publishing profile. And this is a file I'm going to need. This is a file that actually helps simplify publishing the site from my local machine onto Azure. So I'm going to save this. Copy that. And I'm going to go and add this to my solution. Okay, so my solution lives in my code folder under the Azure PhotoBook C#. And I'm going to paste that in here. And I'm going to go into Visual Studio now, and I'm going to add that to my solution. Okay. Now, let's bounce back real quick, see how we're doing on our storage account right here. Okay, so it's created and online. It just took a minute, not a big deal. All right, so now that I've done that, now what I want to do before I get into integrating the Team Foundation service with Azure is I just want to get this thing deployed, make sure everything's working properly. So to do that, what I'm going to want to do is let's get rid of that guy. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you right-click on the web app. I'm going to say Publish. And what it's going to do, it comes up in kind of a wizard-like fashion. It's going to say, okay, where's the published profile that you want me to use for this? So I can import one. And I'm going to browse out to my C. Code, photo book, and grab my publish settings. Get this into the center here. Let's validate my connection. Okay, so that's good. Settings are good. Preview are good. Almost ready. I need to do one more thing, right? I had mentioned that. Come back to that in a moment. I'd mentioned that I'm using the local storage emulator, and that's a configuration setting in my web.config. So if we go into my web.config file here, I've got a key Windows Azure storage account, and I've got the magic use development storage set to true. So I want to disable this. I want to comment that line out, and I want to point to a real storage account. And let's see, this is not the one I just created today, so I need to go out to Windows Azure. I need to go to my storage account. And then if you say Manage Keys, that's where I can get a hold of the storage keys. So I'm going to just copy the primary access key. It doesn't matter which one you use. Go back to Visual Studio. I'm going to paste that in. Also need to change my account name, and I believe this was ALM Azure UG for user group. I'm going to select Save. Okay, so now I've got the storage account pointing at the right direction. I've got my publish settings used, so I should be able to go in here and publish. And let's click on our publish button. You see the output windows updating as it's moving through the publish, and when it's ready, Explorer's launched and it automatically navigates to my site. And just to validate everything's working, I'm going to go add another picture. Get my picture. Notice that I'm on the Azure User Group.blob.core, so I'm getting this from Windows Azure's blob storage. The picture's named this, so everything looks like it went well. Okay, so at this point, I've set up Team Foundation Service. I haven't stored my solution in there or anything yet. I've set up Team Foundation Service. I've identified a project that I want to be deployed to Windows Azure. I've made sure I can deploy it, so that's all set up and working well. I've got the storage account and everything set up. So now what I want to do is I want to go in and I want to put this solution under source control. Okay. So if we go to Team Explorer, and this is going to be just slightly different than the experience that you're going to have, but if we go to Team Explorer, and let's go home and select this drop down here and say projects in my team, connect to new team, project and team, connect to team projects. What you would normally do if you were creating, if you were connecting to Team Foundation service for the first time is you'd normally click on the servers button here, add the brand new URL, and that was the Intertech Azure UG.visualstudio.com, and click OK. Since I've already done that, just to make sure the presentation goes all right, I can skip that step. And then what's going to happen is it's going to have a list of all the different team projects available to you. And I just created the ALM Azure UG project here, so that's what I'm going to connect to. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Solution Explorer then. I'm going to right-click. Wait, do I want to do this first? Yeah, I'm going to add the solution now. Add solution, there it is. Add solution to source control. It's going to say, where do you want to add it? I'm going to add it to the ALM user group. I'm going to let it go ahead and create a solution folder for me. And I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to check it in. Okay, and then successful check-in. If we go to Team Explorer and we go to our, where are we? Source Control Explorer, excuse me. We'll go over, take a peek at the ALM Azure user group, and you see that we've got my new folder, solution folder, my pictures with tests, and all my code and tests and everything are in here. So here's my tests, here's my code.